Next, I'm gonna make a web form for you guys. Another way you can add content is this little add content button at the very top left. Only reason I didn't have that since the beginning is so that you guys would have to go through the different menus and that sort of stuff. I'm gonna click on the web form. And this time I'm going to call it Steph's web form. And in the body, I'm just gonna put in some random text. This is kind of like the preface of the of whatever the web form's for, you know. So that's where you put all the information in. It's basically like a page. These automatically publish once you start them. So just know that they're not like pages. I mean, they are pages, but there's not as much to get like wrong with a web form. So once I have it created, I'm gonna click on view just so that we can easily like get through it. So here's what we have so far. Instead of clicking on edit, which will edit the text here, I'm going to click on web form. These are the questions of the web form itself. So I'm going to start it with email. And for the type, instead of a text field, which is like a string, you can put any information that you want to into a text field, I'm going to mark it as a email. That way that you can only put emails into it. You can make it required or not right here. I'm going to start off with not requiring it so I can show you how to require it after. I'm going to add. So here we have the label. That's easy label. It's what's going to be shown on it. The form key, what's in the form itself, and the default value. Usually you don't use default values. We're going to be using one for this so that people don't have to enter the @calstatela.edu. So I'm going to put @calstatela.edu. Default values actually fill in the box with that already. So we'll show it later, but they can just enter in the beginning part before. For the description, I'm going to put, please enter your Cal State LA email. And I can allow multiple addresses if I wanted to. I can allow a long format or a short format. Short format is just the email. I'm going to keep it like that. And for the validation, I am going to click on the required now. So let's say that you decided later, you know what, I did say that I wanted it required. I don't anymore. I could just do that, or vice versa. Both ways work as a requirement. And then you can make it unique if you wanted to. So you can make sure that no one enters in the same email twice. You can change how long it will be, where the label displays. So we're going to have it display above, and then we're going to have the description above the field as well. These are the only places that you can change that. You can't like mass change them all to have it below or above the field. And then I'm going to save the component. Next, I'm going to have name. This type, I am going to keep it as a text field. I have to edit it from an email to a text field. I'm also going to require this one. I'm going to add. Now, instead of having a default value, I'm going to leave that one blank. I'm going to put into the description, please enter your full name. You can have a max length, a min length. So this is for stuff that like, you know, it's a 6-digit password. You know, you can have the minimum and maximum length both be 6. it doesn't work in this situation, but just so you guys know that it is there. This time, however, we're going to be using the placeholder. The placeholder is kind of like, you know, when you log into something and it says password until you start entering in, you know, the password itself, the password disappears and whatever you're typing in takes it over. That's what a placeholder is. It's kind of like text that isn't actually in the box. So once you start typing, it just completely disappears. So I'm going to put first and last name here. There are also prefixes and suffixes, but we don't need that for this, but it's if you're doing a number or if you are asking for a percentage, that sort of stuff. And I'm going to have the description above the field again. I'm going to save. Now, once I have those, I'm going to view it. There we go. So this is the difference between the two. This is a placeholder. It is holding the place of what information you wanted to enter. It disappears once you start typing. But with this one, the text is actually there. So what I'm going to edit my web form really quick because the name shouldn't be behind the email. It's not intuitive. It's not accessible. So I'm going to click on the web form. I'm going to click and drag the name above the email or the email below the name, your choice. And what it says here is that it won't stay this way if I don't save it. So I'm going to save. And now it's officially that way forever. Okay. You could do it the name first. I was just showing that you can change the positions of different questions. So it doesn't have to even be that way. It's like, let's say that you've been doing your web form this way for a while, but you find that having it with this question first is actually better, that sort of deal. Or if you realize, you know, you're at the end of the thing and you're like, oh, that would have been a really good question to put in, you know, you can put it in, put it wherever you need to. So next we're going to actually enter into our web form. So, you know, make sure to get back to the web form itself and enter into, I'm going to put Stephanie with stephanie@calstatela.edu. Submit that. Go back to the form. Steph@calstatela.edu. Submit. Go back to the form. And then you can click on the results. Let's say that, you know, you put up your web form, it's been a while, you know, and you've gotten quite a few results. But the thing is, you can't see what this says. All you know is that people have responded, and you can view them, you know, you can view them, see what they responded with. But if you have like 100 responses, that's going to get tedious. So what you do is you click on the table. The table is very much like the submissions. It has when it was submitted, who did it, IP address, so that, you know, let's say that you don't want two people doing the same thing, or, you know, the same person doing it twice, even though they have two accounts. Oh, that's the same IP address, you know? But it also has the two questions that we had on there, the name and the email. So if you have a really long thing with a lot of questions or a short thing with a lot of answers, that sort of stuff, always do the table. Another nice thing is you can download this. So if you click on download, you could export it to Microsoft Excel if you wanted, or you can have a delimited text. There's a bunch of different options, so you can choose how it looks, you know, what you're exporting, download options, and then you can download it. I'm not actually going to download it, but it's easy to do that. And let's say that your form is a semesterly or yearly form or even weekly form, after you export the information, and make sure you do, you can clear the information. So if you click on clear, this action cannot be undone. So that's why you make sure to export it before you clear it. And there we go. All our results are gone.